Today we are going to learn how to make a text bubble animation in After Effects. So the first thing we want to do is create a new composition, and we are going to rename it Bubble Animation. And then if all of your settings are correct, just click OK. I'm going to scale to fit the composition to 100% so that we can see everything. From there, you're going to select your shape layer tool, and I go with the rounded rectangle, but you can use a regular rectangle as well. Just drag out a rectangle shape, and with the anchor point tool, we are going to center by control and double clicking it, and then aligning it vertically and horizontally in our composition. We are then going to select the rectangle options and rectangle path, and change the roundness to about 170. This gives us the round feeling that a text message bubble has. I'm then going to rename the layer bubble because that's what it is, and then I'm going to pull up my rulers with Control R. And this part's kind of subjective, so I just kind of match the rulers with the corner points before the curve, and then the end of the bubble right where it curves all the way to maximum. And then I'm basically going to make a square by going right to the center of this point and right to the edge of the shape layer. And then I just kind of eyeball this next part as well, where I center a line between those two, vertically and horizontally. And this next part's very important. Make sure you select your layer, get the pen tool, and you want to click once, click drag, and then click again. If you click once, it makes a solid point. If you click drag, it makes a tailed point so you can curve it. Points to the respective areas on this grid I just made. The last point goes to the very bottom, create the tail, and you'll adjust the curvature to get the right curvature of a text message tail bubble. So right here, I actually did mess up a little bit, but I'll show you how to fix it. So once I shut the layers off with Control semicolon, I see that the bubble tail is kind of extruding a little bit. So it's a very easy fix. I just select the layer, go to the tail that's actually extruding, which is this top one. I just tweak it a little bit and then drag it inside, and the tail ends up being perfect. So once I drag it inside, you can see that it is completely round and there are no mistakes. So from here, I want to change the anchor point so that we can scale it up from the tail. Select the anchor point again, and holding shift, it's able to lock the point to the edge of the tail. I then go to scale, select one at 0, go ahead, select one at 1, and then select one at 1 and 12 milliseconds. I then scale it up in the center one about 15% to 20%, and at the beginning I scale it down to 0. I then easy ease in, out, and easy ease my center keyframes and go into the graph editor, and then in between each halfway point I just use the tails of the keyframes and drag them so that they're a bit more smooth and they play out better in the animation. So right here I'm just going halfway between both of these keyframes as well, dragging the tails so that it's equidistant, and then once we play it back, we have a smooth bubble animation. Our next thing is to add text to it. So just type out whatever text you want. I'm typing out "thanks for watching," and then I'm going to scale it down so it fits inside of the bubble. We also want to center it, so same thing, we are going to control double click the anchor point and then align it horizontally and vertically. And then I want to scale it up so it fills the bubble a bit more. And we are going to add a text animation effect to this in the Effects and Presets tab called Typewriter. You drag this onto your text layer, and then you want to hit U to pull up your keyframes and drag it to be the same size as the scaling animation. I easy ease these with F9, and then I also select them again and go into the graph editor, and same thing, halfway through I drag the tails so it's equidistant and has smoother animation. I then want to go to the end of the scale animation and then drag it and pick whip it to the bubble layer so everything moves all together. And that's how you make a text message bubble animation in Adobe After Effects.